Good morning. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, everyone. As always, thank you for being here. Do me a favor. As you check in, let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is where you are. A moment. Get out of this garage. It's darker and all right, there we go. Got that camera on. How's everybody doing this morning? What's up, y'all gonna walk with me this morning? Just gonna take this walk. Welcome to the morning, people. Welcome to the walk and talk. Welcome to the day. Today is Monday. It is the 22nd of June. Everybody say happy birthday to my oldest daughter. It's too early in the morning. It's 6:30 in the morning, man. It's too early for a bacon cheeseburger. But I do not have a problem with a good bacon cheeseburger. Welcome in. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Walk and Talk. Thank you for being here. As always, let's be positive. Let's be grateful. Let's be gracious. Let's be engaged. As I do this walk this morning, I want us to keep in mind a couple of things. One, we're here to engage in conversation. Welcome in, New Zealand. I am alive. I'm not one of these people who are going to ramble on endlessly about nothing. I also do not block, reject, or restrict legitimate questions. So that is, I want those things to be upfront and evident, because one of the things that has to be most important in this process of what we do in our life is we have to be able to engage with ourselves, our thoughts, and with each other. Just because you don't agree doesn't mean you're wrong. I heard someone yesterday say you have to listen like you could be wrong, which is a very interesting way in which to make a statement, or to say you have to consider the possibility. I think that's very wise. East Coast, United States, thank you very much for the subscribe. I am here in Northwest Maryland. It's important for us to, not important, but I would like for you to, as you drop in, let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is where you are. We're gonna get started today. Today I want to talk about one of the things that I believe is very important, which is taking action for the things that you want to see get done. I've heard, and I'm trying to process it in my mind, because I know a lot of people agree with this statement I'm about to say. A lot of people applaud it. A lot of people use it as a marching call, as a call to arms. But I personally don't agree with it. I believe that the context of it and the way it's being used is more, that it's more restrictive than it is freeing. It leans more towards being controlled than being free of will. It leans more towards blame than power. It leans more towards excuses than acceptance. Even though that's what it speaks about, is I don't believe it supports it in the nature of it. And the statement that I heard is, and I don't know who the soundbite is from. Pennsylvania, welcome in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is pretty big. Like, are you, listen, Western Pennsylvania is nowhere near Philly. Like in any way, it's not in the same, like it might as well be a different country. So welcome in Pennsylvania, how are you doing? I think you guys even have a different time zone. 11:31 Ireland time. Ireland, did I say that correctly? I know I butchered that accent, I'm so sorry. Ireland, welcome in, how are you doing? Thanks for being here this morning, guys. Thanks for being here for the walk and talk. Welcome up to the top of the hill. But the thing that I've heard and the conversation, the statement that I've heard recently is, I want to show you guys the top of this hill real quick, my little view. Excuse me. Man, the cough kicked in hard right there, didn't it? So, 10:30 p.m. All right. Man, well, I hope you had a great day. Just getting this one started here. So, here's what the statement says. And I did one of the things that I tell myself not to do, which is to judge too quickly. But the statement starts with, there is no, I'm gonna misquote it. There is no stronger person than a person who knows they have to suffer and they're willing to do it. I believe that's what the statement says, right? 6:34 in the morning here, people on the East Coast of the United States, coming to you up here from Northern Maryland. Washington, the state, or Washington, D.C.? That's the question. I am from Washington, D.C. But it's the way it starts is, there's no stronger person, or there's nobody that you should be more afraid of, or nobody who's more powerful. It's something like that, than a person who knows they have to suffer and they're willing to go through it. And so, welcome in, Brazil. Thank you for being here. So the thing that is important, right, in that regard, the part of that context that gets me is, there is an affirmation. There has to be an acceptance of suffering, right, in order to do anything. That's, yeah, I don't even know what that means. Look, Judge Dredd, he said, I knew it. Listen, when you, nobody ever says, hey, where you from? And they like, yo, you from New York? And you be like, yeah. And they be like, yeah, I knew it. And that rarely comes. It rarely comes with them following up with like good things. I mean, oh yeah, I knew it. I could tell you was from DC. Don't judge me because I'm from DC, man. I don't even know what that's about, Ray John. Is that Ray John? Arjan? I'm not sure what that's about, but I'm sure you'll share more later. So here's what I'm saying. The statement says, and I want to say it again, I'm misquoting it, I believe, by quite a bit. There is no stronger person or more powerful person or more capable person than a person who knows that they have to suffer and they're willing to go through it. This is the part about this that I don't like. I'm going to share with you. I'm not a fan of the statement. I'm not a supporter of the context, because I believe that it is indicative of accepting that you are starting from a place of less. That in order for you to get somewhere, it's going to require you to suffer. And the simple, the wording of it also allows for you to assume that others don't suffer, right? Because it says there is no more powerful person. Now that doesn't mean necessarily in the context of the statement that they're saying that suffering isn't tantamount to human existence. It's simply saying that the individuals who can see suffering and are willing to go through suffering are your most powerful people. The problem that I have with it is this. I believe the words suffering and sacrifice are used way, way too frequently and too easily in the context of achievement and living life, right? And here's why I'm going to say that. And Mason and Mayberry, we can get to those questions in a moment, because I don't have a problem answering those questions. You guys asked, are you proud of your color? Somebody else asked, are you proud of your country? We can have those conversations, because these are not yes or no conversations. And these are things that generally have a tendency to try to come right back around and bite you in your butt, because there is complexity. But I'm going to continue with what I'm saying. Now, here's the thing. It's not about whether or not, it's not about if a person knows that they have to suffer and they're willing to suffer. Exactly, Corey, the real thing that's important, and the part that we have to keep in mind, is if you want to get something done, what other way is there to do it but to do it? If something that needs to be done, and you know it's on you to do it, it's your assignment, it's your chosen assignment, right? The biggest thing that you have to know is that if there is a chosen assignment, if there's one given to you by your job, if there's one you've chosen for yourself, if you've been spiritually appointed an assignment, that the things necessary to achieve the goal, the things that are required to get that thing done, are not suffering. I want to be really, really clear about this. For example, there is this really proud statement that people used to say for years. I sacrifice everything for my family. I sacrifice everything for my children. I sacrifice everything for my wife. No, you don't. You don't sacrifice for your children and your wife and your family. Sacrifice is the thing that in its essence says, if not for you, I would not have done this. So this isn't my choice. It's something I'm doing solely because you exist. And if not for your existence, I wouldn't be getting up and going to this job. I wouldn't be paying my bills on time. I wouldn't be fixing food. I wouldn't be talking to people. I wouldn't be continuing to provide, because I'm only doing this because you exist. Like you had no part in them being there. So when we start talking about sacrifice and suffering, we're assuming that there's a way to get to where we want to go outside of doing the things we have to do to get there. There's a poll listed in the description or in the chat. You can find that there. And then I'm taking questions, yes. I have no idea what we're talking about, Wisdom. Humans are not based on color. If you only see humans, then you wouldn't see gray. I don't agree with that way of saying that. I get what you're trying to say, but I don't agree with the way of saying that. Higher power doesn't mean higher responsibility if you're unwilling to accept the requirement to perform and be better. They have this thing in regards to saying, to whom much is given, much is required. But much is only required if you're choosing to take actions and take steps with that you're being given, right? Which is why I talk so much about suffering, right? Which is why I talk so much about sacrifice, because you can have great responsibility, right? You can have a higher calling and a purpose and not necessarily take the steps required to accomplish it. And it's not about suffering. It's about the path you chose and the steps you have to take to get there. If I want to get up in the morning and I want to catch the bus to go to work versus drive my car, then I have to say I'm committed to this thing. My travel time starts 2 hours before it normally would. I have to accept the conditions that the weather is ever changing. I have to accept all of those things. So why is this important? It's important because the context of what we put in our mind, how we prepare ourselves mentally, speaks volumes about the actions that we take and where we place the responsibility. Thank you for the sub, I appreciate it. So when we start talking about and we start considering the things that we're going to do, the stuff that you want to do in your life, it's not about suffering. It's about understanding, hey, I want to do this. And then when you start looking up, when you say you want to do something and you start looking up the things that are required to do it, you aren't suffering. You're doing the things that are required to do it. It's that simple. Say Daniel says, I have no idea what that means. Balazar, come on, man. Y'all trying to... you're actually colorblind, Corey? Oh my God. Okay, so all you see is gray. So so people are just different shades of gray to you. Dark gray, light gray. I see what you're saying, buddy. I can accept that. So you don't actually see color. TY, are you arguing with somebody in the chat, TY? Americans for Americans, you guys need to work together or you will be replaced. Who is you guys? Right, so here's the thing, right? Suffering is usually spoke of as I can see suffering as something you can look back on and see. I don't see suffering as something in your future that you can choose to accept. I see that there are things, if you want to make changes, you can accept suffering, but those people who accept suffering are usually saying that suffering is outside of their control. That's the big thing about saying someone who is willing or prepared to suffer. It's never taken in the context of, this is something that I have to do, so I need to do it. It's not taken in that context. It's always taken in, this is something I'm trying to get done and they're trying to stop me. They're getting in my way. They're making this hard. They're creating these challenges. That's how suffering is viewed. It's always viewed as something that somebody or some entity or some process outside of you is causing for you. Now, does that mean that everybody is on your side? No, it doesn't. There's people in this chat right now who aren't on my side right now. Aren't on the sides of you either. They aren't on the sides of growth. They aren't on the sides of seeing development. But here's the thing, and this is what's really, really important. You have to understand. Good morning, my beautiful wife. How are you doing, baby? Thank you for being on here this morning. Guys, life is good is my wife. You guys make sure you say good morning. And make sure you visit our family channel over on the baby birds. That's important. So, when we start discussing the things that are about development and growth, when we start talking about the things that are designed for us to get somewhere, the things that are in our path, the things that are along the journey that we're taking are the things that we have to do. The importance of understanding that our journey, the trip wherever we're going, requires for us to go where we're going means we have to take on the responsibility of getting there. Right? So when you start talking about people going through customs, people going through an airport, people wanting to travel, and they say, oh, well, I'm suffering. It's usually about, oh, well, I have to I have to stay here. I have to wait for this. I have to go through these checkouts. I have to be searched. And people have all of these concerns about the travel, but none of them are things that they imposed on themselves. Oh, this is from the government. This is from terrorists. This is from illegals. This is from the law. This is from, like, all of this suffering is someone else's fault because they have to take this trip, because they have to do this travel. And so when you say that this is suffering versus this is what I have to do to get to where I'm going, then you take that on and there's really nothing you can do to change it. But if you don't want to wait in customs, you don't want to wait and go through the TSA or whatever it is, you don't want to be there 2 hours early, you don't want to do any of those things. If you don't want to do that, make more money, fly private, leave earlier, drive, catch a train, catch a bus. There are options. But when you place suffering in the hands of others, then you take away the control that you have over what you can do. It's not about suffering. It's about understanding that the things that you choose to do, the things that you choose and you make up your mind, and the choice is in the actions, not in the agreement. Your choice, your decision, your choice is in the thought process. The decision is in the action that is taken. You can choose to live a healthier life, but your decision is in the behaviors that you take on to go towards that healthier life. You are not suffering because you cut sugar out of your life. Oh, dude, I'm suffering. I get it. I mean, this sounds cool. But you're moving towards a different lifestyle. It requires a different type of action. I'm talking to you, 3926. Do I recall Rosa Parks? Like, was I there with Rosa Parks? Sugar can be a drug, right? Sugar, and they push sugar. Hey, listen. When we start talking about making decisions and we start talking about taking actions, specifically taking control of our behaviors and our outcomes, there is something about taking responsibility, right? We were just talking about this where we says to whom much is given, much is required. When you apply that to yourself, I gotta run across this street so I don't get hit by a car, y'all. Y'all let me get hit by no car out here. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Nuggers. Chat. Really need money for food? Okay. So here's the thing, 10 points. Do they get 10 points for hitting me? Or do I get 10 points for making it across? So, when we start talking about this responsibility, right? When we start talking about this expectation of what we have to do based on the power that we have, that first responsibility is to yourself. It's to ourselves. If I make a decision that I have this interest on eating better and being healthier and doing more, then I have to get up and I have to do it. To whom much is given, much is required. You've been given an abled body. You've been given the opportunity and the knowledge. You've been given the freedom to live a healthy lifestyle. Now you are responsible for getting up and doing it. If we're gonna lay in the bed and we're gonna cuddle up under excuses, we're gonna fold our arms, we're gonna blame others, we're gonna set the suffering, oh, you don't understand how hard it is. I mean, it's hard as it is. This is why I talk about discipline. And the problem with the discipline is everyone thinks discipline starts with consistency. And it can't start with consistency. You cannot be consistent at something you have not learned how to do, and you don't have the ability to perform with consistency at a high level. It can't be consistency. Consistency requires for you to be able to grade it. Discipline has 4 pillars. It has 4 stages that you must go through in order for it to become discipline. The first stage of discipline is repetition. Repetition is stage 1 of discipline. You have to start doing the thing that you say, hey, I'm gonna do this. This is how it's gonna work. I'm gonna improve my fitness. I'm gonna eat better. I'm gonna spend more time working on my goals. I'm gonna focus on being stronger. I'm gonna dedicate my time to it. So when you talk about getting started at doing what it is you say you're gonna do, then the first requirement, that first responsibility, that first check mark is on you. Are you doing this thing? So you have to get up and you have to say, okay, I'm committed to it. Let's make it happen. So when we start taking those steps, repetition is just, I'm getting up and I'm getting out. Maybe I'm just walking. Maybe I'm just buying foods with less sugar. I'm just putting less sugar in the house. It really doesn't matter, but it starts with getting started. What about finances? Finances is the thing that's holding you back? Is that what you're saying, Jonah? Again, to go with discipline, if finances is the thing that's holding you back, then that's what you focus on first. If you have any money at all coming in and finances are the issue, then you can manage that. Because finances are not about how much money you have coming in. It's about how you manage it. Humans, especially here in America, I'm gonna speak about what I know, I'm gonna speak about what I've experienced. We consume, and we believe the purpose of money is for us to use it to consume. As long as we're focused on consumption, the money can't grow. If you want to succeed as much as you want to believe, much as you want to breathe, I'll plant the seed. So here's the things that's important. What's going to be most important, guys? Give me a second. I got to manage a couple of things. All right, I think I got that taken care of. Apologize for that, guys. So if we're talking about finances being the way that we have to work, right? If the finances are the thing we're working on, discipline works the same way. Repetition, patience, then consistency, and you follow that with perseverance. If there's anywhere that you want to say that there'll be a struggle, that struggle is internal. It is not external. That struggle is that when you become disciplined and you start doing the thing that needs to be done, the struggle is you getting up when you're supposed to get up. You doing the things that you're supposed to do. That struggle is not external. The struggle is not what's outside of us. The struggle is our ability to manage the responsibility we've been given to take care of ourselves. We don't have to worry about rage bait. There's some things sometimes we have to take a moment. We got to stop and we got to clean things up. But listen, that's not suffering. So Shaquille O'Neal tells this story, and he's an American basketball player. He tells this story about having a game, and his dad comes and picks him up his dad tells him to fly home after a game where he played in New York. And then, his performance was bad, and he tells his dad that, he was under the pressure. And so his dad, military man, wakes him up 5 a.m. and says, hey, come with me. Go down, they sit up under a bridge. It's where all the homeless people at, in tents. He's sit there about an hour, hour and a half. People start coming out the tent. Man comes out. After the man comes out, woman comes out, next kids come out. Dad turns to him and he says, that's pressure. He said, that's pressure. These people don't know where the next meal is coming from. This man doesn't know how he's going to provide for his family. And they have to get up daily and they have to go out and get to work at the things that are going to help them grow. Right? Now, the grander context of that story is that there is a responsibility placed on that man to get up and do things. But Shaquille O'Neal tells the story and says that his father turns to him and says, what you have to do isn't pressure. It's like you playing basketball. They are putting money in your pocket and you are being paid well. That's not pressure. It's not. You're responsible for training. You're responsible for showing up. You're responsible for continuing to get better and to grow and to give your best effort. That's the most you can ask of anyone. When you start talking about taking actions in your life based on the success that you want to see, then you have to understand that when you are getting started, you are responsible for the outcome. You have to invest in you. You have to invest your time. You have to have an idea of what it is you're trying to achieve. Do you even know what it is you're trying to do? For most people, the inability to reach the goal is not knowing where it is. So, there's this kid, right? Kid's running this race. A bunch of other kids are running. And so, the kid, his coaches have told him the whole time, hey, this other kid is really, really good. You got to beat this kid. You have to beat this kid. Here's what you have to do to beat this kid. And they trained him to beat the person who was his rival. They trained him to be better than his rival, to beat his rival. That was the only focus. Beat your rival, beat your rival. So the day of the race comes, one of these long races, you got to do like 4 laps or whatever. And they trained him to beat his rival. And so he's running the race. And when he ran the race, the rival goes out, they have this plan, let him get out. and then you have to kick hard and you catch him coming down the back straight. And so they trained him, and then they're teaching him when it's time for the race. He's following the pattern. He's doing what they told him to do. He's running. He's maintaining his energy. He's coming to this point where the kid is right in front of him, and he knows, I followed every step. I've done what's necessary in order for me to beat him. I've done what's necessary in order for me to be in this position. And he kicks in. Best effort. I mean, he is digging. And he digs and he runs and he runs and he runs. He comes off of the turn, coming off the turn, midway through the straightaway, he catches him. Once he catches him, he gets past him, takes a few steps, throws his hands up. He has done it. He has beat his rival. He is still 25 yards short of the finish line. Good morning, welcome in, Noah. Thanks for being here this morning. He is still 25 yards short of the finish line because they didn't train him to win the race. They trained him to beat his enemy. You are not going to get anywhere in life if your focus is on how to beat your enemy versus having a focus on how to win the race. We keep looking outside ourselves, and this is what suffering does. Suffering, the thought of having to suffer, keeps us looking outside of ourselves at the circumstances, the situations, and the people, and being willing to say, it is this way for me because of what others are doing. My life is this way because of everybody else. It's not. You make a decision, you have to take the steps necessary in order to achieve the outcome. It is that simple. I tell you what, it takes longer to get out of bed now than it did when I was 20. It's some parts of the body, dude, the knees and the back. They don't wake up. They don't wake up the way they used to. But getting up and getting engaged in the day, understanding that, hey, I made this commitment, and this commitment that I made is going to require for me to take action, right? Whatever time it is. And the thing is, like, there's a whole bunch of different people to say the time has to be like, oh, it's got to be 4:30. Oh, it's got to be, like, I don't know. I don't know what time it is for you. I don't know what time that you need to get up. You have to figure that out. But you need to have enough time to focus on building for yourself. Understand this time that you get up in the morning, and this is the way I like to share it. If you have a job, and your job requires for you to get up in the morning at a certain time, and you do that every day you have to work, but you don't do that on your days off. If the first thing you think about doing on your day off is sleeping in, then you're not focused on building yourself. Your life revolves around the money you make when you exchange your time and showing up and doing what this employee wants you to do. Give me a moment, guys. Gotta do some tending. We have to start with ourselves. It's not about becoming rich. And I think that's one of the biggest things, is that everyone assumes that whenever we're talking about growth and development, whenever we're talking about facing a challenge and taking on the responsibility, there's an assumption that it's always about being rich. Money doesn't make you happy. I am a firm believer in money doesn't make you happy. But I also understand, for all the people who say money doesn't make you happy, their biggest issues are behind how much money they have. And it's not about working more. It's not about getting paid more. It's about managing what you have. That's a whole other conversation about finances. That's a whole other conversation about how discipline can apply to that. What we're talking about right now is, what is the thing holding you back, and how is that thing not you? What is the thing that's getting in the way of keeping you from achieving whatever goals you set for yourself? What is making this a struggle that is outside of you? There is so much control that you have over so much of your life. But if we're going to accept that it's a struggle, if we're going to accept that someone else has control, if we're going to accept and we're going to blame the outcome on things that we have the ability to move out of our way. Okay, Everett. Are you suffering, Everett? These people are funny. Well, yeah, you have to be cool. Listen, man, and this is what I mean. This is what I mean about saying that we gotta suffer. Discipline has 4 stages. Repetition, whatever it is that you're trying to work on, I do not care what it is. You know what it is better than I do. Whatever that thing is that you're trying to work on, you have to start with repetition. You just need to get up and start doing whatever that thing is. That's the first thing that has to happen. After you get to the point of understanding that you have to get up and you have to do what's necessary, that repetition is where you start to build. You have to be patient because you need to understand consistency is step 3. You have to be patient because until you learn how to do that thing on a high enough level to grade, you can't be tested on it. This is why they say don't test while you teach. You can't test while you teach. And the reason you can't test while you teach is because if you try to test while you're teaching, the people never get a chance to actually learn. Right? So when you say, hey, I want to be able to eat better. Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to start eating better. You have to start taking some of those steps. That's the repetition. Until you really know how to count the calories, what the meals are going to look like, what the days are going to look like, don't start grading yourself. You can't be consistent if like one day you do really, really good. I had rice cakes for a snack. I had a meal prep lunch. And then the next day, your body is craving sugar because it's been in your system for years and your body doesn't know how to say you need this specific micronutrient, but you've always gotten it from drinking strawberry milkshakes. So it tells you to go get a strawberry milkshake. It happens. I know. I've had the fitness experience. I've been personal trainer. I've gone through my own fitness journeys. I'm telling you, I work with my brother. My older brother was working on losing weight. And my older brother said, hey, I'm going to become a vegetarian and I'm going to become active. And he moved to Florida and the sun was shining and they had a house on a golf course and they went out and he would go running in the morning around this little lake and he came. And so his wife, who had been vegetarian for years, didn't have a problem transitioning. The kids, maybe a little struggle. I call this guy, I call him one day, and they're like, man, hey man, what you doing? All I hear is chewing. I'm like, you work out today? He was like, yeah man, I went out and So I'm like, what's been going on? He walked me through his last couple of days. He started doing weight training. He was working out. He was doing all of these things, but he switched over and became a vegetarian. He ran 2 miles one morning. He ran a mile the next evening. Like, he had done all of this stuff. And he says, man, I had this overwhelming desire for pepperoni pizza. I said, oh, you eating a couple slices of pizza? He's like, no. He's like, no, I got to get rid of the box before my wife gets home. I said, what? He said, man, I ate a whole pizza. Why? Because for years, when his body needed carbs, which he wasn't using at a high rate, it knew that carbs comes from dough. Pizza is one of those things. Pepperoni, the body says, hey, I don't know what this thing is, but I know when you eat it, you get fats, you get carbs, and you get proteins. You need all of those things. And so it says, boom, get one. You need to replenish your fats, your carbs, and proteins. So when you're on your fitness journey and you're trying to move towards eating better, and your body says, eat this, it's because you have not yet taught your body that there is somewhere else to go get that. And so the body craves it. You are in the repetition stages. You cannot consistently eat healthy on your first week. You're not going to just, that's it, I'm never eating meat again. That's not the transition. So we have to start somewhere. So that's why we have to understand, for discipline, stage one is repetition. Get started. I get it. Nope. It's not going to be easy. You're not going to suffer, but you're going to have to do what you have to do in order to get there. It's not suffering. It's just that you've made a decision, and now in order to achieve that decision or to achieve that goal, you have to do what's necessary. You have to start taking the unhealthy items out of the house. You don't just take them out. You got to have something in there, so you have to replace them with healthy options. Over time, you will start to choose the healthier options. Your body will learn, oh, this is where I go for this now. Hey, fine, cool, but you have to start doing that. That takes repetition and patience. Now, once you've done repetition and patience, now you start doing walks. I want to start working out. This is all a part of this healthy lifestyle. I'm eating better. I need to now make sure I can grade my eating, and I'm going to start counting my calories. Now we're moving towards consistency. Now we're at a place where we're going to be like, no, these things aren't a part of my life. As a personal trainer, I'm working with this client, and we're doing the assessment on the first day. And the lady's here, and I've trained people at all different levels. She's here and she wants to lose weight. And then after the first before the first training session, we're doing the assessment. We're talking about the fitness goals, everything that wants to get done. And then once we go through that, one of her first questions are, do I get a cheat day? I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, what day can I have like snacks? Like I'm like, cheat day? You ain't working hard enough for no cheat day. We ain't even did the first workout yet. We ain't got to the first workout, and you already looking for a cheat day. That's crazy, right? So we have to get to that point. We have to understand that it starts with the repetition, and then we're patient. And then when we develop the consistency, that's the ability to be able to grade it. Now we can grade our calories. And then we have to persevere, because during this time, there are going to be points, even once you get to consistency and you're grading it, there are going to be times where you're going to be out and your friends are like, everybody is eating a sundae the size of their face. I'm not there. No, I can't do that. That's not a part of my journey. I'm not suffering, and I'm not sacrificing. I've made a decision on what my life is going to be, and I'm walking it. That's important. Good morning. Thank you for stopping in. Hey guys, everybody who's been here this morning, first and foremost, let me say thank you. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for being a part of the walk and talk. Thank you for being a part of the chat. If you haven't done so yet, please take opportunity. Go ahead and answer the question in the poll. Also, you can go ahead and if you double tap the screen, hit a like button, whatever it is, just a way to say that you've been here. It doesn't cost you anything, just to say good morning. And I appreciate you guys being here this morning. So, I guess you guys are having a lot deeper conversation. You most certainly can. Hey, 444 Dre, I wasn't talking about you. And congratulations on the work that you've done. I appreciate that. I'm talking about somebody who's starting their fitness journey, and they are starting in the repetition stages. It's good. I appreciate you. I even put your comment up, 444. Right now, it is 7:18 in the morning. Welcome in, Germany. How are you doing? God bless you as well. Channel is all about growth and development. It's about being able to understand, set a standard, and know that your responsibility is to work towards it. And we do it through discipline. Doesn't matter what area of your life you're working on, it must start with discipline. Discipline has 4 simple stages. As you work through them, repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. It doesn't matter what you apply it to. What you eat, the job that you work, getting a promotion, working with your finances, relationships, your faith. It doesn't matter what you apply it to. It requires the same thing. You must start with repetition. And then from repetition, you must be patient. And then from your patience, you must understand that you can develop consistency. And when you do develop consistency, you must persevere through any challenges that may stand in the way of where you're trying to get to. Welcome in, England. You know, we want to make sure, and it's nice for us to have a idea of what we want to do, but we want to make sure that we can also develop a plan, because it's in developing the plan that we're able to achieve the things that are really important. We have to be able to do the work in order to achieve it. Welcome in, Italy, again. I don't know, y'all seem to have a conversation going on. Who is this? McCroy and Mosby. What is this, 19? Never give up? I swear, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. Those of you who have come here to support, those of you who have been a part of this process this morning, those of you who have joined in and been in the chat, thank you very much. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all the support. Thank you for the likes. For those of you who have been negative, for those of you who have tried to rage bait and have had nothing positive to say, I want to thank you for continuing to help the algorithm push people towards my channel. That's one of the things you have to understand about perseverance and growth. One of the biggest things that you're gonna be able to see when you start to truly accept the path that you've chosen to travel, and to travel it the way that you know will get you to your goal, is that along the way, the things that you persevere, it's not suffering. It's simply the understanding that I'm traveling this path, and there will be challenges on the path. And when I accept that there will be challenges, I understand that I just have to walk through them, because there's a difference between something that can challenge you and something that can stop you. And you get to make the decision of that. You get to make the decision Is this thing that I'm going through right now, is this thing that I'm facing right now something that's a challenge that I either need to move past, get over, or destroy if necessary? Or is it just is it something this is it, I can't go any further, I'm going to stop? Welcome in, Tonga. Thank you guys for being here this morning. Right, we hear a lot of things in a lot of places we go. 19, never. I'm gonna call you 1990. The name on your channel is really long. So 1990, there are a lot of things that we can hear in a lot of different places. And oftentimes, much of what we hear is driven by where we go to get our information. But here's what's important, is, as I've said this whole time, when you focus on growing and developing yourself, when things are said to you or things are shown to you, there becomes a point, and this is why I mean you can't test while you teach, that you have to get to the point where you start to seek out information for yourself. Because we can often be told things that aren't true in the attempt to control our next actions and our behaviors. And we get it all the time. I don't want to control anybody's thoughts. I don't want to control anybody's decisions, anybody's behaviors. I'm not seeking to control any of that. I would like, if possible, to share with you the thought and the understanding of how you can control those things for yourself. How you can take control of your life, take control of your future, take control of your outcomes by implementing discipline and an understanding of where you want to go. And that requires being true with yourself. That requires being honest and about where you're showing up and where you're not showing up. All right, 1990. No problem. The steps for discipline. Repetition is step one. It means just get started. Just show up. A lot of us have a job that we do with repetition. One of the greatest ways to start to implement discipline is to set a goal on your job. First one, here's the easy one. Show up at work 15 minutes early. Set that goal, right? You start doing it, it's just repetition. Okay, I just need to get there 15 minutes early. Sometimes you're going to leave out too late. Sometimes it's going to be traffic. Sometimes it's going to be, man, I need to get here 15 minutes early. This is the focus, to get here 15 minutes early. What do I need to do to get to work 15 minutes early? You start there, right? So when you start there, that I want to get there 15 minutes early, the repetition is getting up and getting out the door to get to work. You follow that up with patience, understanding that as I start to work this out and I get an understanding and I really want to make it here 15 minutes early, that I need to get up at a certain time and take certain steps. There may be things you need to do the night before. All of those things are going to be a requirement as part of you getting there. So that's how you start, with repetition, and then you move to, you use patience with it. Now, once you've done that for a while, let's be consistent. All right, I need to show up to work 15 minutes early. I need to check my emails. I need to check any notes or messages from the previous day. I need to prepare myself for what's going on. Like, I need to be ready. I need to start doing things, right? And then you have to persevere. You have to persevere for times when, oh man, the car didn't start. Oh man, we got a flat. Oh man, so now you need to understand, getting to work 15 minutes early means taking care of things outside of just my job. Repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance are the 4 steps to discipline. They're the 4 stages, the 4 pillars. You have to start with repetition because you're not going to be perfect. And then you're going to start to grade your consistency. Okay, I'm showing up to work 15 minutes early. How? Now let's move this to How do I move up in my job? Now that I'm showing up on time, because here's one of the biggest things for most of the people who talk about the jobs that they work, the companies they work for, and how they're not being compensated in a way in which they're happy with. They're not being given the opportunities that they would like to see for themselves. And what this starts at, for most people, is it starts with just showing up. The company's like, hey, I would love to, but our records show that about 19% of the time, you're either late or you call out. And when you're not late and you don't call out, when you do show up, you leave early. This is what our records show, that about 20% of the time, we can't count on you. And then with the time you are here, your efforts are about 70% of the productivity that we would like to see. So this is how we have to begin that growth, especially for people who say, I want to see growth on my job. I want to do more on my job. I want to be given more opportunity. I want to be given more responsibility. I want to see a bigger paycheck. Well, it starts with, what are the things that your job needs you to do in order to get it? If you don't even know what your job is looking for you to move to the next level, how are you going to be able to move? You can't make a plan. You haven't asked the questions, you haven't spoke with leadership, you don't know the expectations. Do you even know what's next? You just want the label or the title manager. Because when the job tells you what it needs at the next level, trust me, the thing you're gonna have to work on is not the numbers for the company. It's the numbers for yourself. Becoming better for the company starts with becoming better for yourself. Being the best version of yourself. Telling yourself, I get up at 7 o'clock, I get up at 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, whatever time it is you get up. I do this every day because I'm important. And this time that I spend in the morning on developing myself, whether it's my fitness, whether it's meal planning, whether it's faith, whether it's prayer, whether it's whatever it is, the time that I spend in the morning is important. And so I get up and I do that because it's my time. It's not somebody else's time. If you get up at 7 o'clock in the morning because you have to be to work at 8, and then on the day you're off, and I said this earlier, if the first thing that comes to your mind on your day off is getting more sleep, then you have accepted that your life is about making someone else's life easier. It's about working for someone else. Welcome in, Craig. Thank you for being here. If you were trying to check and see whether or not I'm live, or whether or not this is AI or some video that was posted from before, I'm live, Mr. Whitworth, and I do know what I'm talking about. But thank you for stopping in. Thank you guys for all your support. I see 1990 and Peter are having a conversation. Nope, looks like Peter said something to me. Instead of starting doing things, you should start solving things. Is that solving things? Is that, I don't know what that was, Peter. Thank you, I am a father. Thank you for the happy Father's Day. You can actually check out our family channel. My wife and I have 7 children. We have a great channel, it's called The Baby Birds. You can check out the family, what we do there. Had a great Father's Day yesterday. My wife prepared me breakfast in bed. My kids came up to wish me happy Father's Day. I'm a girl dad. Of our 7 children, I got 5 girls, 2 boys. So, so it was a great day. Absolutely phenomenal. It was covered with love. Multiple happy Father's Days. So thank you very much. Are you back with this rage bait question, Mason? Pride is a horrible thing to have. Being prideful is a horrible place to be. So when you say you're proud of something, anyone who tries to define you or place you into a space where they see you and ask you your view of it, then that tells you more about the individual, right, than it does about the situation. And the reason it's rage bait, Mason, let's have this conversation because I don't mind engaging in it. The reason it's rage bait is because regardless of your nationality or your race, that question only applies, the answer only applies to you. The answer, if I answer that question in whatever context, in whatever side I choose to answer that question on, that's only for you to come up with something else versus a question about something that actually applies to being human, right? So you have to understand that categories were created to set things apart. We put foods in categories. We put plants in categories. We put animals and species in categories. And so when people start being placed into categories, it's to set them apart so we can determine how to judge and assess them. And when you accept the category that someone else has told you you're supposed to be, you have chosen to be separated from everything else. And when they reduce that to the color of your skin, you are at the most subservient. And now you want to say I'm saying nonsense because I didn't answer your question. So here's the question for you, Mason, because I'm prepared to travel this path if you're prepared to exchange. Are you proud of your race? Are you proud of your race, Mason? Because here's the thing, whatever race, whatever nationality, however you want to refer to me, I'm on screen right here. I'm putting myself out in the public space to be seen, to engage, and to talk, right? And when I'm putting myself in this space and I'm prepared to engage, you're not. I tell you what, I'll set up a go live tomorrow and we can go live together. I'll invite you to my channel and we can have this conversation tomorrow morning together. You want to do that, Mason? You want to do that? Because I'll do it. I'll do it. It's not a trigger. It's not a trigger. What it is I know it's not going to happen, right? I know it's not going to happen because of this. See, this is what you have to notice, 1990. I thank God every day that I'm white. That's Mason's response. I ask you first. So Mason's either 10 years old or Mason is a rage baiter, right? And so I engage that conversation. I engage that conversation because people, when I talk to you about discipline, when I talk to you about challenges, and when I talk to you about making a plan and reaching it, I believe and I live all of these things. And there will be moments when there will be people like Mason who want to get out there. 19, I'm sorry, I was off by 10 years, but you know what I was saying. So there'll be people like Mason, and for the most part, we believe that the only way we can get somewhere is that for the people who want to see us do harm, is that we have to justify ourselves to them, or we have to not engage them. No, there are a lot of differences between people, right? There's differences between everything we go to. And Mason has been here since the beginning. I've been on this thing for 71 minutes now. And Mason asked this exact same question in the beginning. Are you proud of your color? Age 19 or not, doesn't matter. What matters is there's an understanding I have that Mason's participation in my channel is driving the revenue. Because if you're watching on your phone in the live stream, there are no commercials. However, the ad revenue is turned on, and if you're watching from a computer, there is. And Mason is helping the bottom line, which is to help this channel grow. He's pushing the algorithm because he's participating, he or she. So what does this teach us? This teaches us that we have to understand even those who hate you and don't want to see you do well can't stop you. This is what I mean about suffering. Suffering is something that you have to accept. Rage bait is not suffering. Mason is not suffering. Mason, there's this saying they have that say, let your haters be your elevators. Everything Mason does helps my channel. Keep commenting, Mason. What else do you have to say? See, so once you come to a realization that people can't stop you, and then you let them know that they can't stop you, they don't have anything left to do but show them true selves. He asked the question repeatedly. This walk and talk this morning was all about being able to understand how to take responsibility for your own actions to see improvement in your own life. Right? It is random, but it's rage bait. That's what it's out there for. That's what it's out there for, Seek. Suffering is something that is outside of us. I mean, suffering is something that we do inside of us. It doesn't come from outside of us. Suffering is what we decide to do for ourselves. If we make a decision and we know we have to do it, then we have to get up and do it. Now, if you getting up to do the thing that you know that you need to do to get to where it is you want to go is suffering, you can call it suffering, but it's really not. It's just the steps that are necessary. You gotta get up and walk 7 steps to get to the bathroom. You gotta get up and walk 7 steps to get to the bathroom. That's not outside of you. No one has made that more difficult for you. No one has decided that you're going to suffer. There are no challenges to overcome. You got to get up and go to the bathroom. That's because you made that choice. And so when you get to this point and you get to an understanding of how strong you are in your own environment, how powerful and how much of it that you control, then you don't have things hurt you that are not designed for you. You don't let things, as I said before, things that are challenges or obstacles or difficulties become roadblocks. You don't let them stop you. Juan, why you guys? He said if the food is too spicy. Again, decisions, Juan. Listen, earlier we were saying, look, to whom much is given, much is required. You were given that spicy food. You got to accept the responsibility of it. That's funny. So we have to understand, man, once we start growing and once we start developing and once we start getting stronger, that we're moving towards something. We're becoming the best versions of ourselves. We're achieving at a very high level. And when we start to achieve at a very high level, there are going to be people, and this is why I say to you, whatever it is you want to do, get started. It doesn't matter, because there are going to be Masons in your life. There are going to be people who have no positive outcome other than their own gleeful enjoyment of hearing their name, who will show up to just boo. There was an example. There was this study that they did. I can't remember where it was. Guy goes out to the corner to play street music, right? And when the guy goes out to the corner to play street music, they are standing there, right? And people are listening. Some people stand there, and the guy wasn't really good. The guy was playing. Some people were watching. The guy wasn't really good. There was a reason he wasn't getting many tips. He wasn't very good. But then they sent somebody in to stand there and heckle him, to stand there and tell him how poorly he was doing, right? And they just started saying mean stuff to him, right? And then what happened is, after they went in and they started saying this stuff to him, when they went in and they started treating him in this way, the next thing that happened was they find out that when they went in and they started booing him, the other people there started donating money. They started to do donations, right? So when people started to do the donations, it's because of all of the face. It's because he stood and he continued in the face of hate. He continued to show up. And that's what I'm trying to tell you is when we start talking about persevering and being strong and growing and becoming the best versions of ourselves, it's often in the face of hate. And you will find out when there are 3 people who hate you, there are 300 who love you and support you. And this is what it means to continue to show up and to persevere, because it's not suffering. It's just people who hate you and they don't have a reason to. They don't have any gain from hating you. They don't receive anything from hating you. Nothing improves in their life from hating you. It is simply their shallow and low attempt to be of value and to be of importance somewhere else. And the thing that's important about this is that when people hate you and they still show up, it's an indication that you're doing something. It's an indication that you're reaching there. It's an indication that you're making change. And even not in change, even if it's not to elicit change in others, you're making change in yourself. This is important. It's important for growth, it's important for development, and it's important for all of us to understand that taking these strides and facing these challenges head on is where we'll find the greatest return for ourselves. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all you guys for stopping in. I appreciate you for sharing, for your quotes, your comments. I thank you for the likes and the support. Here's what I want to say, people, and I want to share this with all sincerity. Every day in your life will always have you in it, right? Every day in your life is going to have the ability for you to be able to show up and to do the best things for you, to see your growth. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if your motivation is to try to destroy others. I'll let you know that is the most difficult one to achieve, because even in the destruction of others, you don't see growth in yourself. Your achievement doesn't bring anything to your life. I want to thank you for being here. Remember, guys, there are 4 keys. There are 4 pillars to discipline: repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. Until next time, guys, I want you to stay out there. Remember and put into play the behaviors that will get you to where you are headed, the things that you are working on and will help for you to achieve your goals. God bless you guys, and until next time, I want you to remember, keep showing up, keep growing up, and keep blowing up. God bless.